Wow. It actually won the poll for once. That's right, after months of being the stock forgettable melodrama in the Patreon polls, the 1984 film Windy City won by 1%. And I have a theory about this. The poll was for an Alien Covenant tie-in episode, and the last time an 80s melodrama won, it was Independence Day 1983, which was for the Independence Day Resurgence tie-in poll. Patreon would rather see a lame 80s drama than a movie with aliens in them. That's my theory. But since I constantly put this movie in the Patreon polls, clearly that must mean the movie is crazy, and I'm very desperate to do an episode on it because of its wackiness. Not even a little bit! Nothing happens in this movie! You're all gonna be super disappointed! Most of you aren't even gonna make it to the end of this episode! Hey, remember this scene from Independence Day 83? Nothing remotely like that happens here. But you can really feel the excitement over in the Patreon comments, such as, how is Windy City winning? You're just gonna keep putting up Windy City till it wins, aren't you? I used to legitimately vote for Windy City, now I do so begrudgingly. That's okay, that's how most people are gonna watch this episode. Begrudgingly. And my favorite one is voted for Alien Origin, mainly because I don't want to feel responsible if Windy City wins. Alien Origin came in at a distant third. If you wanted Windy City to lose, you should have voted for Alien Terminator, which came in at 30% versus Windy City's 31%. You totally contributed to Windy City winning. Windy City is the story of a writer and his friends who are huge fans of The Big Chill and starred in a ripoff of it. Believe me when I tell you there's more action on this post-apocalyptic looking poster than in the movie. Me and my friends, we had a dream once. Life was gonna be a great adventure and we were gonna be the heroes. Too bad none of that happens in the movie. Y'all wasted your fucking life and you just spend this movie sitting around complaining about shit. Take that, poster. Hell, as adults, they look like the grown-up version of the Buttercream Gang. They've grown up to frequently use the word buttercreaming on the back page. And now to actually review Windy City. I'll use this time to think of another forgettable 80s drama to replace it in the upcoming Patreon polls. Oh, it's gonna be so easy for my mind to wander during this. You sure this is theatrical? That silent logo just screams, stay tuned for an all-new episode of Alice! But as the poster says, the dream is alive in the Windy City. So let's get some lively opening credits with beautiful Chicago scenery. Come on, baby, don't you want to go back to that same old place? Sweet home Chicago. Funny, we see the music credit before we hear any actual sound. The music really is niche. It starts out like all great movies do, by showing us another movie. I guess we know what won Windy City's poll for the Pirates of the Caribbean 5 tie-in. I'm assuming this is a flashback scene.
Me and my friends, we had a dream once. That life was going to be a great adventure.
I read the poster. The main character is Danny, and as kids, he and his friends were a group called the Rogues.
We used to hang out, playing ball, chasing after all the girls, and making plans. Big plans. See, we were going to be like the guys in the movies.
but mostly we just sat around and watched TV. And here's our hero doing his best Matt Dillon and reminiscing about when his buddy died trying to swallow a football. With John Shea in the lead, who knew Lex Luthor's origin would be so lame? Now look, Six Flags Great America is closed for the season. Watching the drawbridges is the next best thing for Danny. Also, another option is jerking off in the coat room at his friend Mickey's club. Not to mention having a circle jerk with Mickey while checking out the woman that you're in love with.
There ain't nobody like us.
That's because everyone else is having fun and drinking while you're fondling each other in the coat room. Almost Griffin Dunn seems to have a successful club, but anything can be packed when you put out a call for extras. And here's what's left of the Rogues. Can I see an update on the Wanderers instead?
Do you know what the girls used to say about us?
They said, who are those idiots who keep quoting stupid-ass pirate movies? Now he's depressed after reading the script to Blues Brothers 2000. Danny tells us more about his writing and the people who have stood by his side.
My best friend, Saul, was in the hospital, dying.
Oh, Saul's dying? Who's Saul? Danny is thinking back about his ex Emily, who is getting married. He met her when dressed like a mailman to deliver door-to-door porn scenes. You know the problem with her, it's the noise. I'm not used to seeing Kate Capshaw introduced without a rousing rendition of Anything Goes. Am I the only one who has seen Temple of Doom so many times in the past 33 years that it actually sounds weird to me when I hear Anything Goes in English? Well, let's see how Danny and Emily hit it off.
Here we go. This is very interesting.
Oh, yeah. Go ahead, tell me. What do you see?
All right, here. It's going to rain on your wedding day.
Wow, he is a writer. He wrote the lyrics to Ironic. He tries kissing her, which doesn't go well, because he didn't bring her a basket of fruit first.
Like, please, dear God, there's got to be some old-fashioned men out there.
No, you don't want an old-fashioned man. He'll just make you wait outside while he fixes your sink. Then he killed her. Or maybe not. Maybe he's in the hospital to pick up Josh Must Comic Relief.
What are you doing?
Guess we're not going to answer that. Now I'll never know what Danny was doing. This is Saul, by the way. I hope he doesn't die. Now Saul breaks it to the gang that he was totes in the war. Actually, he just saw a diner and wants to stick his dick in a popcorn bag. That'd be better than this conversation.
Don't worry. Help is on the way.
Okay, let's get Saul over to Arkham Asylum. Chicago is also Gotham City. It has to be around here somewhere. Danny has other things to worry about, such as more flashbacks.
I'm late for work.
So am I.
I can't be late for work.
If Danny ever loses the Christmas spirit, the ghost of Christmas past isn't gonna have dick to work with. He also makes her soup, but she's instantly not interested when she realizes there's no eyeballs in it. Alright, no more Temple of Doom references. Danny sure does miss Emily, who is still engaged to someone else in the present. Perhaps Saul has some advice.
Caller.
No.
What have you got to lose?
No, because what am I supposed to say? You know, what? Hello, I know it's a little late. I know you're getting married on Sunday, and suddenly I realize I can't live without you.
Wait, that's great.
That's terrible advice. I'm not a huge fan of the Windy City spin-off, Better Not Call Saul. And stop referencing better movies.
It's never too late. Dustin Hoffman would not have let her get away. I mean, he ran to that church and was pounding on the glass. Elaine!
Yeah, that way you can sit in the back of a bus and contemplate your life choices. You know what The Graduate was missing? Pirates.
We should have been pirates. We could have been great pirates.
I never thought I would say this in a review for Windy City, but what the hell do pirates have to do with anything? So he goes the old endless love route and spies on Emily through her window. Now to flashback to when they went stupid hat shopping. But I'm more focused on the news of the day. Gays to picket Dem convention? Well, that was a different time. But back to this non-romance.
I think we should get married and have a family. Say yes.
Married?
I wonder if they'll get married, seeing how they're not together in the present.
You know, for a smart girl, you really don't understand men.
Well, then teach me.
Men are stupid. You're supposed to propose to them by shoving a pie in their face. That's pretty much it. Wait, this isn't Chicago. Public displays of ketchup were outlawed in '82. We're only 20 minutes in. There's still 80 minutes of this movie left. I sure hope there's a talking dog.
Come on. This is a tuna fish sandwich. And dogs don't like tuna fish.
That's where you're wrong, B. I'll especially eat your tuna in a burrito. Sorry, Charlie. Oh, and Saul is the godfather now.
What is this?
It's a dog. What the fuck are you wearing? Anyway, the news.
Ready? The Barzini sisters have been delivering singing telegrams since last Christmas when...
I guess there's one thing slower than this movie. The Newsday. I might as well leave my job early and hang out with Josh Mostel and son of the producers.
Yeah!
Okay.
He's gonna get fired for leaving his news report. They even get Mickey in on this limo trip by convincing him they have severed legs in the limo. And now they're off to kidnap Murph of Murph and the Magic Tones. They're getting this band back together. This is gonna be some party.
Then I go to jail.
All right, Eddie!
Jail does not get a yay. Are you guys even listening to anything anyone says? Hey fellas, I got cancer and only have days to live. Yay! Now to get shot in the face for intruding. See, I told you this was a valid choice in last year's Halloween episode poll. Perhaps Bobby here will join them.
What do you want me to do? Just walk back in there and say, hey, Linda, I'm out of here.
Again with the yaying. Guys, I can't go with you. If I do, it'll be the last straw and my wife will divorce me due to my crippling alcoholism. Yay! Now to pose for the 1984 SNL cast photo and go crash a college party. All part of the disappointing sequel, The Medium-Sized Chill. Though these folks know how to party. And then the Rogues died. Chicago mourns their loss every year by not acknowledging them. Hey, don't hog the old style. This is a drinking scene in Chicago. Don't worry about Ted. He'll wake up when we stick a broom handle in his ass. And now they're all super tiny and walking across Saul's head. Just kidding. That's not what's really happening. That would be more realistic.
Open your eyes.
What? The cast is also perplexed about what the fuck this has to do with anything. Does Saul want them to walk the plank or go raping and pillaging? I know it's because they all watched pirate movies as kids and wanted to go on adventures, but I watched Die Hard as a kid and didn't want to jump off of buildings. Ugh. Well, maybe they'll sleep this off.
What do you do with a drunken sailor? What do you do with a drunken sailor? Early in the morning.
This movie is super lame. Lake Michigan was frequently flooded with pirate ships in '84. It was the weirder side of Reaganomics. And then Saul gets sad because he's a grown man rowing a boat to a pirate ship. If you think this is a buzzkill, wait until the pirates remove your fingers to get to your jewelry. Saul is taken to the hospital. His friends are super concerned. How is this rated R? How are any of you rated R? Sorry guys, I'm taking off. The opening already told me Saul dies, so what's the point? Everyone else gives up on Saul except Danny. He cares so much about him he flashes back to a scene not involving Saul.
I want to shave my mustache off.
I am on the edge of my seat wondering if he's gonna shave his mustache. People keep calling me Mr. Cotter and I don't have any funny jokes to tell them. Poor Danny has a bit of writer's block.
Do you know that you're always telling me the greatest stories about you and your friends and Saul and your adventures and all those things? You should write that down on paper because that's the stuff you know
All right.
about.
Sweetie, those were all lies. We sat around and watched pirate movies all day. By the way, this escalates fast.
Don't feel like writing. I don't.
Well, you could write about a guy with severe anger issues. It took this movie 40 minutes to get to an emotion. Any emotion! Or he could write about a talking dog.
What? Look, there aren't a lot of dogs in this building.
Come on, B, put a hat and trench coat on me. I'll blend in like the little rascals. Who says Danny can't write? Witness the power of the coming home with groceries scene. At least now he has an in with Emily. He gives her the talking dog.
Wait, this is not a dinosaur. Right? This is a very special dog. This is a talking dog.
See? What? I was kidding.
Fairy tales can come true.
Danny?
What can happen
Danny?
to you?
That's not what I sound like, B. Sinatra's more of a Puchinsky thing. So, are they gonna get back together?
So you're getting married. Now, does that mean that we won't be dating anymore?
No, I'll still be dating.
Good.
I love Kate Capshaw, and God bless her for giving a laugh in this film. And then he confides in his dying friend, as if Saul doesn't have enough going on in his soon-to-end life.
How can you be dying?
Oh, it's the easiest thing I ever did. The white blood cells are...
No, don't joke.
Yeah, fuck you, dying asshole. This is your fault. I'm sure there's something we could cut to, other than Saul dying. Finally, an action scene. Danny wants to cheer Saul up by having them all get on a boat and sail off, because that totally worked out the last time. Except everyone else has lives.
I gotta tell you something. When I'm holding this kid in my arms, it's better than all the good times.
I think your kid had a stroke because that smile is permanently plastered on his face. Anyone else want to help Saul?
Danny, some dreams just don't come true.
Dreams are dead in the Windy City. Actually, dreams do come true. You just have to wait till 2016. Anyone else for Saul?
Danny, I don't like boats. I can't swim. I get seasick. Just...
Was the alternate title of this movie Fuck Saul? How about you, Mickey?
I can't just take off like that. I got investors that I'm responsible to. I got 45 tables out there. I got to put food on.
I know.
Waiters and all that.
Ferris Bueller 2. Ferris can take the day off work, but chooses not to because Saul is no Cameron.
Well, why not? What, are you so busy? Yes, I am so busy.
Well, another vote for Fuck Saul! So let's party instead. You may think this is a Halloween party, but Chicago was very different under Mayor Harold Washington. He insisted everyone dress up in costume to go drink. In one weird scene, the movie black boxes itself when a guy shows his dick, only that's at the end of the shot, so before then I thought the movie was bootlegging itself. Danny, meanwhile, is dressed as Indigo Montoya, the gay blade. Even though this isn't a religious movie, I can still add the creepy music to it. If raping and pillaging is their dream, I wish they'd wake the fuck up. Now to reenact their favorite scene from Risky Business. Oh boy, it is getting steamy in here. Thank God the Trojan man is there to give him a condom. Danny is more upset that he was cock-blocked instead of witnessing his friend doing blow. Oh, 80s. Wait till he tells Saul.
On the lips? You kissed her on the lips. I knew it.
Also, Mickey's a cokehead. Boy, it's a good thing Danny is here to cheer him up.
Do you think there's really a heaven? I don't know.
Say yes! It gets more awkward from there.
We spent all that money getting to the moon. We should have spent it trying to get to heaven.
Yeah, ask the people of Babel how that worked out. I'm not sure if Saul is dying or if he's turning into an egg. Meanwhile, in Bob Guccioni's mansion, no need to ask questions, we got hookers to pay off.
Thanks.
Thank you. You were wonderful.
This movie makes prostitution boring. Where's Pimp Joe Pantoliano to steal his shit? It's that awkward moment when he sees Emily after making out with her and yet is required by law to give her a slug bug. Unfortunately, Emily is still getting married and may or may not be naked under that coat. Leave it to the 80s to pad their walls with water from Super Mario Brothers. But Danny has an offer for her.
I'm going to be in the park all afternoon. All the guys are all going to be there, the wives, kids, and everybody. I wish you'd come by.
Well, you just blew it, Danny. She's not gonna go because you and your friends are super lame. He actually asks her to marry him. How does that go?
You should go.
So, is that a yes? You know, if you punched her in the shoulder, she would have said yes. Here's how you know this is a bad Chicago movie. They're playing football and they have 0 superfans. Guys, this game just isn't the same without Saul here dressed as a cheerleader. Anyway, more football. Never mind, they just talk about Saul.
And I don't understand why I have to try to talk you guys into this.
Danny, please, we're in the middle of a goddamn football game. Do it.
So, everyone does hate Saul. Saul is in a hospital bed dying, and his friends don't even want to acknowledge his existence.
You think you'd have to ask... You think you'd have to ask Saul to do something for us? Huh? No way!
Who rounded up the customers, right? Who spent a week rounding up the customers? Not me, not Eddie, it was Saul.
When you were when you were gonna get fired from the station, right? You started the write-in campaign, right? 1,000 letters mailed from all over the city.
Danny, shut up!
You wanted to buy your first duplex, right? That's dump.
Yeah.
Right? You needed $5 grand to fix it up. Who gave you the money? Who gave you the money?
And this is how the Bears lost Super Bowl 41. Rex Grossman wouldn't stop talking about Saul. So is there a term for this kind of movie? Reminisce-sploitation? Sad 30-year-old men-sploitation?
You know, when we were growing up, I used to think we were forever.
Come off it, Danny. We were only friends because we spent a Saturday detention together. And then they lose, in the game, and in life, and in the box office. Even God hates Saul. That's why he's raining out their Salmonissing. When he comes back as Paul, it'll be a different story. Danny returns to give Emily that slug bug, but both Emily and the beetle are gone. Unfortunately, the bridge is the only thing standing between him and some nuts on Clark. But Danny gets in touch with his inner Jake and Elwood and tries going for a scene almost as insane as Diane Wiest blowing herself up. On the bright side, he lost Sam Gerard. Crap, he's too late. You know, you would have been there a lot sooner if you stayed in your car and waited for the bridge to lower. How is this movie gonna make up the rest of its running time?
This is Bull Martin.
Why is Krusty the Clown's dad in this? So this is a ship captain. Now to get Saul to go along with this, they can take him out to sea and tell him how much they hate him to his face. This is just like that sailing scene from Cuckoo's Nest, only if there were no stakes. Come on, boys, who else wants to join this sinking ship? $10 says they're only joining Saul on this trip so Danny doesn't blow another one of their football games. And for more yaying.
I got these pills for seasickness, shark repellent, a flare gun, and all the rest of this stuff from my attorney here. Who recommended I leave town for about 75 years.
Don't yay the Action Man scuba diver going to prison, or that sitcom-y joke that just happened. Sorry I'm late, boys. The Silver Streak just crashed into Union Station. It's a mess over there. Now they're off. Please crash, please crash, please crash, please crash. They don't crash, but they try to be somewhat meaningful.
Thanks.
This movie is as deep as a New York-style pizza. I'm sure everything will work out fine. Just kidding, he's gonna die.
Saul died at sundown on the 9th day.
We then fired him out of a cannon. His body crashed into a White Castle, and they made chicken rings out of his remains. Again, Danny appears to be the only one who liked Saul.
Saul said it was the most fun he'd had since 1959, when we ran away from home to become astronauts.
Skippy burned up on re-entry. We don't talk much about Skippy anymore. Anyway, Saul is a dog now. As for the rest of the group...
I heard that Vern got married out of high school, had 4 kids, and is now the forklift operator at the Arsenault lumberyard. Teddy tried several times to get into the army, but his eyes and his ear kept him out. Last I'd heard, he'd spent some time in jail and was now doing odd jobs around Castle Rock. Chris did get out. He enrolled in the college courses with me. He was stabbed in the throat. He died almost instantly.
See, this is what happens when you confuse Stephen King with Stephen R. King. I've never heard someone so disinterested in what became of our lovable characters.
As for Emily, well, she was married for a while, and she got divorced. She moved back to Chicago a few months ago, but we haven't talked to each other.
Holy shit, this takes place in Chicago? Don't worry, he runs into Emily. She's dressed as a sidewalk chalk artist now, and just picked up Richard Roper's new book, but pretends it's Danny's book. As they walk, Danny thinks the gust of wind is Saul giving his approval, and it gives him an idea for his new book, A Saul's Purpose. And then they walk off, because after all, it's a long way to Delhi. Okay, I had to do at least one more Temple of Doom reference.
You still believe in happy endings?
Absolutely.
If Danny and his friends ever found out the location of a dead body when they were kids, they'd just stay home and watch the Bozo Show instead. Windy City is certainly a reminiscing film, and the product of a, hey, let's capitalize on the success of The Big Chill, because we're getting old. It was the directorial debut of Armyan Bernstein, whose only other feature as a director was the 1987 film Cross My Heart, but he also wrote films such as The Hurricane, Thank God It's Friday, and Francis Ford Coppola's One from the Heart. He was more prominent as a producer, having produced such films as Air Force One, Children of Men, and on television he produced Castle. Windy City was not a success, and has never officially been released on DVD, which is why you can get it in this extremely colorful bootleg. Even the disc says "Fuck Saul." It blew a hole in his fucking head. As bleak as the cover looks, you should see the back when it's just the VHS blown up to DVD size. I'm glad I'm looking at Saul's last known photograph. Seriously, that's Saul's last scene in the film. Even the movie's trivia struggles to find something to talk about. The movie's title, Windy City, is a nickname of the capital city of Chicago. As a resident of Springfield, Illinois, that trivia about the capital city of Chicago really intrigues me. I hope this review of Windy City was everything that you begrudgingly feared it would be, for all 2 of you who are still watching this episode. Luckily, though, we have another forgettable 80s melodrama to take its place in the Patreon polls, which is why next week you can choose between the porno film Pirates or the 1984 Karen Allen romance film Until September. I'm just kidding. We'll do Pirates next week. It'll make sense for that movie to have pirates in it.
I don't want any soup.
Be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel at youtube.com/StonedGremlinProductions. Follow us on Twitter at the Cinema Snob, or check out our homepage at thecinemasnob.com.